Nature seen here brings tranquility and balance to life. However, with the climate changing, people and corporations being reckless about where they put their trash, and a bunch of other issues, nature is constantly being under attack. Debatably, the most important part of the Earth's ecosystem, marine life, is threatened every second of every day, with stories coming out frequently about how marine animals are turning up on shore with plastics in their stomach.
So far this year, 12 dead whales have washed up in or near San Francisco Bay.
Or how marine species are being overfished. It seems as if there are people who forgot that the ocean provides half of the Earth's oxygen, and destroying it would be like destroying Earth's life support. One of the many vibrant marine life locations that are being under attack is right on Long Island. Issues like nitrogen flowing into the water are very prevalent here, causing marine life to die, but restaurants and dining centers, such as the ones at Stony Brook University, claim that the seafood they serve is, in fact, sustainable. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, sustainability is to create and maintain the conditions under which humans and nature can exist in productive harmony to support present and future generations. One of the many fish that are claimed to be sustainably caught in the U.S. is salmon. Salmon, like the pieces in the salmon bowl that I bought from Stony Brook University's food market, has a lot of nutritional properties such as protein, vitamin B12, potassium, iron, and vitamin D. A lot of people enjoy salmon, but is eating and buying salmon doing more harm than good? What issues are there with the fishing industry? Can salmon actually be sustainably caught? I will uncover these answers and more in this video. To find out if the salmon I bought from my school is sustainable, I need to pinpoint where it came from. I talked with Senior Executive Chef Jack Usel, Stephanie Dorfman, the Director of Nutrition and Sustainability for Culinart, which is the school's food provider, and Van Sullivan, the Executive Director of the Faculty Student Association, to find out the source of salmon being sold at Stony Brook University.
No antibiotics, no hormones. It's basically just raising the fish in their natural environment, their natural feed, whatever it may be, and then harvesting them when they're ready.
Most of the salmon that gets sold at Stony Brook University is from Hidden Fjord in the Faroe Islands. With it being built in the open sea, currents are constantly cleaning out waste from these farming pens, and there is no use of antibiotics and chemicals in these pens. Hidden Fjord may just be one of the few salmon farming locations that actually reach true sustainability. However, this is not the case in other fish farms throughout the world. I interviewed Kristen Gerbino, fishery expert from Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County. She had opinions on fish farms that call for some concern.
What are those salmon eating? A lot of times, if they were to be fed their natural diet, they're being fed fish, which in that case, it's still taking more fish to raise fish. So, there's that part of it as well.
This would, in fact, not make salmon farms sustainable, as the amount of fish would stay the same, making issues like overfishing take control. Although there is a good chance my salmon came from this fish farm, there is a possibility that it came from other parts of the world.
We have a lot of different vendors where we do purchase the various fish from.
With that being said, I have to take that into account and examine possible places where it came from. A lot of countries are very relaxed with their fishing regulations, but the United States has a lot of strict rules and regulations on the fishing industry.
There are very strict regulations in place on fishermen to ensure that the fish is sustainable, right? So that is a reason to choose fish and locally harvested fish, but also U.S. Fish.
Recreational fisherman Walter Stackler has felt the squeeze on the fishing industry when he goes out to fish, but understands the importance of it. However, he also wishes that commercial fishing companies would understand the importance of it too.
A lot of these big trolling boats and longliners are controlled by mega corporations that don't really have they're interested in profit more than preserving the earth.
As I was talking to Walter, another fisherman came up to us to make sure that we were following the correct fishing guidelines.
3 trout all year long.
I don't know.
This must have just come out.
Maybe.
I'm going to have to check because this could be a mistake.
Fishermen throughout Long Island are frantic about making sure they follow the ever-changing rules, but also to respect nature. Although there are those who do respect marine life, there are people who would rather treat the ocean like a free-for-all.
Fishing salmon can be sustainable if the regulations allow it to be, but that can depend on the state.
The salmon I bought could have been caught from a trawling net that destroys huge areas of marine life in its path. According to the Fisheries Department of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, 5 Pacific salmon stocks are overfished in the United States. With the use of huge nets and trawling, overfishing can pose a huge problem to fish.
You'll see the stocks that are on the overfish list or overfishing is occurring.
Despite the huge threats to salmon like fish farming and overfishing, plastics take the lead as the biggest killer of not only salmon, but millions of other marine life species.
It's very dangerous just because, plastics in general,
Oh, yeah.
because,
Yeah.
a lot of animals eat them
Yeah.
and then they don't digest and they could starve. They could, they're finding it basically in everything and everyone.
Although minuscule, I do need to make an adjustment to my previous information about what's inside of salmon. Eating enough microplastics over time from fish like salmon might actually build up in your system. There are solutions to lessening the amount of plastics being put into the sea so that less fish consume it, which Stony Brook University has actually already started to implement.
I personally like to use these items that are almost 100% biodegradable. And there's a lot of those things that are available to us, like the plates that we use, the to-go containers and whatnot.
However, this is a collective effort, and although certain areas are decreasing their plastic use, other areas may not be, and the oceans will still be polluted with trash.
Think about like all the PPE and all the masks and all the, even just like all the disposable plastic COVID tests right now. Like there's just so much plastic. And to think that, that's never going away. And I'm just one person like worrying about my, individual plastic usage, but like multiply that by everybody else and it's disturbing to me.
So with that being said, the salmon I bought could have either been from a well-regulated fish farm, a not-so-well-regulated fish farm, fishermen catching salmon following the rules, or it could have been from commercial fishermen overfishing. There's a lot of different possibilities, but the only thing that I can accurately determine is that part of the salmon comes from land. The issues that marine life are going through are only being amplified by climate change. As the oceans are predicted to become warmer and more acidic, which will kill off mass populations of fish, it's still difficult to say whether marine life will persevere or eventually succumb to the environmental damage.